Kevin Garnett didn't just play basketball, he made opponents feel small. Today, I'm counting down the top 9 plays of his career. Watch closely, because these plays weren't just about winning or losing. They changed how teams played the game and even how they built their rosters. But before we get into the highlights, let me introduce you to the legend himself. Kevin Garnett, everyone calls him KG. He's a guy who went from high school star to one of the most intense players the NBA ever saw. He left high school early and entered the NBA draft in 1995, becoming one of the first players in decades to skip college and go straight pro. That bold move put him on the map right away. In Minnesota, he grew into a superstar. Night after night, he carried the Timberwolves on his back and was named to the All-Star team 15 times. By 2004, he won the NBA MVP award, and later, he got traded to Boston, where his defense and grit helped the Celtics win the title in 2008. And the thing about Garnett wasn't just stats. It was his energy, the way he screamed after a block or pounded his chest after a dunk. He played like every possession mattered, whether it was a preseason game or the NBA Finals. That fire was contagious, and teammates fed off it. After an unforgettable career, he retired and was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2020. And those moments, they weren't just headlines. They were proof of just how massive his impact on basketball really was. Now let's check out my top 9 favorite plays from KG's career. Every legend has a first taste of the spotlight. For Kevin Garnett, it came as a rookie when he went up for his very first NBA block attempt. Sure, the refs called it goaltending, but that didn't matter. What mattered was that this skinny kid from high school wasn't afraid to challenge grown men at the rim. This was the first glimpse of KG's defensive instincts, which would later make him a 12-time All-Defensive Team member. Even in his rookie season, he averaged 10.4 rebounds and 1.8 blocks per game, showing that defense would always be his calling card. The play starts with Casey driving hard and kicking it out to McCallum in the corner, but the three doesn't fall. The rebound gets knocked around, and suddenly Garnett is there to grab it. The Nets could have slowed it down for the final shot of the quarter, but instead, Caris LeVert pushes the pace, finds KG on the run, and Garnett goes back in time, finishing the play like it's his prime all over again. A full-court sequence that shows his hustle, timing, and that trademark fire. One of the plays that showed Garnett's awareness came on a near miss from his teammate. The ball was hanging on the rim, ready to roll out, when KG exploded into the air. With perfect timing, he pushed it back through the basket for the score. What a perfect dunk. It wasn't just about the points, it was about how quickly he reacted, never giving up on a play, and always finding a way to finish it. This kind of instinctive play highlights why Garnett averaged over 1,000 putbacks and tip-ins in his career, a testament to his effort and attention to every loose ball. Kevin Garnett was named the MVP of this All-Star game with 37 points. But this shot in double overtime was my absolute favorite. Matched up against Vince Carter, Garnett pivoted and drilled a turnaround jumper over 2 defenders. That season, KG averaged 23.0 points, 13.4 rebounds, and 6.0 assists. This play reflected his ability to perform under pressure, combining skill, awareness, and composure. These were the qualities that helped him carry Minnesota through deep playoff runs. Oh, and this was peak 2003 Duncan versus Garnett. Nothing but straight fire. Duncan muscles in, flips it up soft. It's almost going in, but here comes KG flying in. Bang! He smacks it off before it can fall. Garnett timed it perfectly. The crowd goes wild, and that's why this rivalry was unforgettable. That season, Kevin Garnett was putting up monster numbers. He averaged 23 points, 13 rebounds, 6 assists, nearly 2 blocks, and a steal per game. That wasn't just production, it was dominance on both ends. He played all 82 games and led the league in total minutes, showing both durability and consistency. Statistically, it was one of his strongest years, and he finished second in MVP voting behind Tim Duncan. Looking back, 2003 was KG at his absolute peak. a true do-it-all star. On the other side, Tim Duncan was equally dominant. He averaged 23.3 points, 12.9 rebounds, 3.9 assists, and 2.9 blocks per game. He carried the Spurs to 60 wins and ultimately won the MVP award. Where Garnett spread his game across every area, Duncan's steady fundamentals against Garnett's all-around intensity is what made their 2003 rivalry so special. Kevin Garnett had already done everything: scoring, rebounding, blocking shots, carrying Minnesota on his back in this do-or-die Game 7. But here's the moment that seals it for me. Clock winding down, Wolves trailing by 3. Cassell swings it, and suddenly it's in Garnett's hands, the 7-footer who isn't even a three-point shooter. He pauses, rises, and bang, knocks it down from deep to tie the game with just over 11 seconds left. The crowd explodes. The announcers can't believe it. And right there you see why KG was the MVP that year. KG finished that game with 30 points, 20 rebounds, and 5 blocks. That moment showed his ability to deliver under pressure and his rare combination of size, skill, and clutch mentality. He finished that season averaging 22.9 points and 12.8 rebounds. Opposing guard breaks free. Crowd's already standing, he cocks it back for the dunk. But just when it looks like 2 points are guaranteed, Garnett explodes off the floor, stretches that wingspan, and smacks the ball right out of his hands. KG led the league in total defensive rebounds multiple times and was a 12-time All-Defensive Team member. This block is a perfect example of why his defense changed how opponents attacked the paint. He had already missed 9 games with that painful knee injury, and a lot of people wondered if Kevin Garnett would still have that same edge. Then this play happened. The opponent thought they've got one last shot lined up, but right when Jameer Nelson tries to thread the pass, Garnett stretches out those long arms and steal. Just like that, he flips the whole possession. What makes it so special isn't just the steal, it's the timing. Coming off an injury, most players play it safe, but not KG. He averaged 24.2 points and 13.9 rebounds per game that season. He gambles, he wins. And he reminds everyone why he's the heart of the team. Boston sets up a crucial possession, 5 seconds left on the shot clock, and Rajon Rondo looks ready to make something happen. But the pass never gets there. Kevin Garnett reads it perfectly and snatches it clean. Then instead of kicking it out, he takes it himself, pushing the ball down the floor and finishing at the rim. That bucket puts the Nets up by 5, and you can feel the crowd buzzing. It wasn't just a steal, it was a statement. Garnett in Boston, in front of the fans who knew him best, coming up with the clutch play. A little homecoming reminder that even in a different jersey, KG's instincts and hustle were still pure defense, turned into offense. On offense, you had to respect his post-game and his passing. On defense, he could guard multiple spots and change shots. But what made Garnett different was how he balanced it all. He knew when to score, when to defend, and when to get gritty, doing whatever it took to win. That balance is his true legacy. A 15-time All-Star, 2004 MVP, 2008 champion, over 26,000 career points, more than 14,000 rebounds, and forever a Hall of Famer. If you enjoyed this countdown, hit like, subscribe, and share your favorite Garnett moment in the comments. I'll read the best ones in the next video. Until then, take care.